Brothers and sisters, why is it that the church give us this opportunity to have some novena devotion? It gives us this chance in order to grow in our spiritual relationship, in our relationship with the Lord. And novena, 9 days. In this case, the first day now coincides with St. Lawrence feast day. Now, this novena first reminds us of some basic elements in our spiritual life and in our even daily life. First, reminding us the call to holiness is not only for the saints, but for all of us, followers of Jesus. We're all called to be holy. Reminding us that holiness is an attitude, an attribute of God, and ours is just a participation of that holiness. It is a gift of God to be holy. Second, we are reminded that holiness is realized only through God's grace. It is not our work. So St. Ezekiel Moreno, St. Lawrence became saints not because of their own performance, their own achievement, but because of God's grace. Third, we are all gifted with graces or gifts from God. And He wants us, in order to be holy, to use all these gifts to be like Him. And in that way, we are called holy if we participate and use these gifts according to His will. And St. Ezekiel Moreno, St. Lawrence, use the gifts that they receive from God to follow Him in their own way, according to the gifts they receive. I used to say that we cannot be St. Ezekiel Moreno, we cannot be St. Lawrence, but we can be like them. Fourth, these saints are presented to us by the church in order to remind us that they are like us. And God gives them to us because through them we become closer to God. Because they are friends, they are close friends of Jesus. And Jesus loves us by giving them to us. By knowing and imitating them, we also become closer to Jesus. And that is one way of how Jesus loves us, giving His close friends to us. In that way, we learn from His friends, not only the Blessed Mother, St. Joseph, but all other saints. So in this day, St. Ezekiel Moreno, St. Lawrence. Now, the Church says, in Sacrosanctum Concilium, says that the saints are given to us not just to be looked at or stared at on the altar, but rather to be imitated. Why? Because they are like us. They suffered, they experienced problems, they also suffered doubts, joys, and with that, we are also invited to really follow them because they are not pure spirits. And like them, we can also attain the holiness that is being required of us through God's grace. How did St. Lawrence and St. Ezekiel witness to God? That is, in their daily life, they did it extraordinarily. St. Lawrence ultimately was martyred. And when you talk of martyrdom, it is reminding us of witnessing, saksi, testimony. So martyr means witness. So we are all called to be martyrs. And strictly speaking, we are all martyrs, meaning we are witnesses. And we are called to witness, to give witness to Christ. Some gave witness to Christ, and because of that witnessing, they are killed. In this case, St. Lawrence and other martyrs, we call it martyrs. No? In giving witness to Jesus, they offered their life. Laying down, following Jesus, laying their life for others. And Jesus is their model. St. Lawrence and St. Ezekiel Moreno followed and imitated Jesus, laying their lives for the people of God. So St. Lawrence was asked by Emperor Valerian to surrender to him the treasures of the church, because Pope Sixtus II was giving Lawrence the treasurer of the church, namely in charge of the common goods, the treasurer. So St. Lawrence, a deacon, sold the golden vessels of the church in order to be given to the poor and to those who are suffering, all those things. When he was recalled, and he was called by Valerian to surrender this goods, he brought all the people who are poor, the sick, the lame, the blind. And when he was asked, where are the treasures of the church, since you are the one in charge of that? And St. Lawrence says, these are the treasures of the church, surrendering, giving them and pointing them to those poor people, those sick, infirm, and all these kinds of people. And because of that, he was tortured and killed. So he gave witness to Jesus in that way, and because of that, he was killed. Now, Saint Ezekiel Moreno is also a martyr in the sense that he gave witness to Jesus by giving his life. So imitating also Jesus, laying his life for us Filipinos. In fact, one priest was saying, not an OAR, was saying that Saint Ezekiel Moreno is the third Filipino saint. In that sense. Why? Because of all the foreign priests or missionaries, he is the only one who stayed here longer and became saint. 15 years, working for us, so giving his life for us. So that is the one way of giving witness to Jesus. Spending his life suffering, ministering the people of God, the sacraments, of course, epidemic in Las Piñas. So working and giving his life for the people in Batangas, Mindoro, Negros, Talisay, but most especially in Palawan. So giving his life for us, imitating Jesus for giving us his life for us. So brothers and sisters, as we are celebrating this Novena Mass in honor of St. Ezekiel Moreno, and which coincides the first day with St. Lawrence, we are called to be witnesses of Jesus. And that would be our daily life. And how to do it in order to become real witnesses is to make our daily life activities extraordinarily. And how? The ordinary activities at home, wherever we are, we can do that with love, joyfully. And we have heard that in the first reading. God is faithful to God, is happy to have to those who give, a cheerful giver. So that is what we are reminded of, namely to be witnesses daily, making our ordinary activities extraordinary by doing it out of love. Because we can do many things, but not out of love, there is no sense about that. So therefore, brothers and sisters, let us ask the grace from God, through the intercession of Saint Ezekiel Moreno, Saint Lawrence, that we become real witnesses to Jesus, even to the point of giving our life. In that way, like the grain of wheat, we also produce fruit, and with our life, many will also grow closer to Jesus. Let us all stand.